So I did some investigation, and it turned out there was an actual rat's nest underneath the stove.
Plaintiffs Alex Figueroa and Amanda Ramos say their former landlord went from friendly to frightening and drove them out of their dream home. They're suing for $3,000. Defendant Lawrence Tan claims the plaintiffs agreed to let him move in and says he even paid them rent.
Raise your right hand.
He says he owes
Do
nothing.
you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
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 Thank you. This is case number 047 on the docket. Figueroa and Ramos versus Tan.
Thank you, and
You're welcome,
welcome to all of you. I see we have here Alex and Amanda. You are the plaintiffs.
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Lawrence Tan, for $3,000 for unreturned security deposit, rent credit, and reimbursement for upgrades made to the home. So let's start with you, Alex and Amanda.
So last year, we were looking for a place to rent out, and
Yes.
We came across what we thought was a great opportunity to rent out a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
Yes. Did you go and see the home before you moved in?
I did. He was still painting, cleaning up some stuff, and we kind of had an agreement that we would help clean up so that we could move in at an earlier time. But unbeknownst to us, that we were going to fall into this unhinged, psychotic person. He lied off the bat. He did not tell us that he was putting the home for sale and that he was going to be living on the property full time.
Yes, I have a copy of the lease here. Is this evidence A?
A.
We would have the whole house minus a back room that he would need to use to work out of.
Now, did this room have a separate entrance?
Yes. It was.
Okay.
There was no connection to the house. I couldn't walk in if I wanted to, and he couldn't walk into the house if he wanted to.
Okay, but the rest of the house was what you were renting?
Correct.
So now you moved in. Now what's the problem?
When we had first moved in, there was a stove, and he told us that the stove, the top did not work. I mean, the top worked, but the bottom, actual oven part did not work. So I did some investigation, and it turned out there was an actual rat's nest underneath the stove. We had to remove the stove, clean it up. The only thing he helped was with patching up the hole so that no other rats could get in. And then when we were also cleaning up the house, we found a broken crack pipe. One was in one of the boxes that he left, and one was on top of the refrigerator.
The carpets were full of glue and what looked like urine. There was rat droppings everywhere.
Are these the pictures that you have submitted of the place?
Yes, that's the carpet is exhibit O and X. So that's one of the rooms that our child was going to be sleeping on. We got a hold of a friend that was doing carpet installation, and he was charging $1,400, but he ended up doing just the 2 rooms because Larry did not want the whole house carpeted.
So you had 2 rooms of the house carpeted?
Yeah, which was $700.
He agreed to pay you for the installation of those 2 carpets.
Initially, yes, he did agree.
Do we have any written documents as evidence of that?
No, I do not.
Did you agree to reimburse them for the carpet?
No, I did not. When they moved
You
in,
just-
that was new carpeting that was already there. It just wasn't of a quality that they had expected or they would have preferred, especially with their child. They wanted better carpeting.
The carpet that he had provided was literally a centimeter thick, and he even told me himself that he had put the wrong glue. The glue was coming up through, it was eating the carpet essentially, and when you stepped on it, it was sticky. And in the second room, that wasn't installed, it was just laid out. There was nothing putting it down, like I could
Okay,
trip
I'm
on
looking
it.
at that. Yeah, I'm looking at that picture. Another part of your complaint is that at some point, Larry moved into a bedroom that was in the part of the house that you rented.
His mother passed away, so he started bringing belongings in.
First it was, I just need to rent the room from you and just sleep there. And he said he would pay us X amount of money, which he never did. And then it turned into, well, I need the room, I need some place to stay, I have nowhere to go, this is your only option or you're out.
I gave them options and I explained to them, it would be an inconvenience, and they agreed to it. I did not force
I
my
did not
way
agree.
into it.
I said we need to sit down and we need to further talk
And,
about it, and I was ignored.
So if they didn't say come and stay, then one of the things they're suing for is they want a $300 per month for the months that you were there, reduction in the rent that they were paying because you were staying in one of the bedrooms.
They took the extra space off of their bill in February of 2019 when they reduced unilaterally $300 off of the rent. And I asked, what is this for? And I was told that was payment for the carpeting, not for reducing the space. And as far as reducing the space, the extra room we're talking about, they had the option to sublease, which they did for 1 month, I believe, to one of their co-workers who then left. More importantly, more importantly, they failed to tell you the fact that the agreement, the rental agreement was signed by my mother, not by me.
No, it was. It was signed by you.
It was signed with me as agent for the owner, and the owner at the time was my mother, who later became deceased. She died, I believe, 2 months after
Sorry.
they moved in. What we really needed at that point was probably a new agreement.
On the subject of you living in one of their rooms, once they rented the place, then that is their, they live there.
Yes?
And if you're going to be staying there, they're going to pay less rent because, in a sense, they were constructively evicted from at least that bedroom. What they are asking for is that the months that you were there without their real permission, that they want that rent to be $1,500, not $1,800. Another item has to do with a security deposit. If you're going to withhold it, it has to be itemized, delivered to them within 30 days of the leaving. Did you get a write-up of the damages that he was withholding the money for?
Yes, I did a walkthrough with him before I moved out. He didn't mention
Wait,
anything.
he gave you, whoa.
Oh, no.
He gave you,
He gave it to us 21 days after, but when we walked through, he said that everything looked good, that there was nothing, there was no damages, there was nothing that we had to worry about. And then he came back saying that we owed him for blinds, cleaning. He was charging us $200 for a cleaning fee.
so let's clear this up because this is a technicality, but it's what the law is based on. Within 30 days, he has to give you a written statement of what the damages are that he is withholding from the security deposit. You're saying that in 21 days he did, but he came and verbally told you with the walkthrough that everything was okay?
Yes.
You did give a statement within 21 days. Do I have a copy of that statement?
You don't.
That's the trouble. When you come to court, and you're a lawyer, you should know that. When you come to court, you've got to give me some documents.
I complied with
I
the
can't-
law. I complied with the law and I
Okay.
gave them a written.
Okay, but they're saying you did give them, let's say you gave them this itemized statement. How much was the itemized statement
There would,
for?
there would be no return of the
825.
security deposit. And the
And
main reason
the
was
what?
there would be no return of the security deposit because there was no
825.
credit.
I'm reading the lease here, and the lease says there are window screens on the bottom floor windows. Larry will provide upstairs window screens as soon as possible.
It never happened.
And
He never
were.
finished.
And then it says the wall furnace on the first floor is not working, but will be replaced by the fall of 2019.
It never
Never
happened.
It
happened.
was.
Honestly, Larry, as a landlord, the behavior was totally inappropriate. You know, in your mind and in your heart, when they rented that place, they thought they were getting that 3-bedroom apartment. And they thought it would be in decent condition. On the payment of the carpet, I have to side with the defendant here. The fact is, I don't have any evidence before me that he agreed to reimburse you for the payment of that. I find for the plaintiff in the sum of $2,000.
Thank you. I regret that I ever took them on as tenants, and I only did that through the insistence of their grandmother, who was my mother's housekeeper.
Who knocks on their tenant's property at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock, sends text messages at 3 o'clock in the morning?
However, his ruling is his ruling. So I'm happy that we were able to come to some resolution anyway.